Welcome into Sports Memos Betting Podcast, college football, every game on the board with our first guest up. He's our leadoff for the first time I can remember. Teddy Covers. Teddy.
Hey, I'm doing all right, Drew. How about yourself, man?
Hey, I'm doing good, man. We're doing double time. We just did the NFL opening line report. Now we're starting off here with the college football, every game on the board podcast. We got some action. We got the Thursday nighter Egg Bowl, and then we got a couple Saturday games. We're going to lead off here, guys. Section 1 of the podcast, and we're going to bring in Robbie Vino, Mid-Major Matt, and Joe Ranieri. Not necessarily in that order, but you get the drill. We'll finish off all the games on the college football, every game on the board podcast. Starting off here. Battle for Ohio at Akron. The Akron Zips, who are no longer winless straight up, or they are winless straight up, not necessarily against the spread. I believe they're sitting at 1-10 ATS. They're catching 27.5 here, Teddy. The Zips are at home against the Ohio Bobcats. We're seeing 52 as the lone total at Circa. Any interest in betting this first action game?
Yeah, I mean, we have there's a couple of games that we're going to talk about that, in my mind, are the moral equivalent of each other. And this is one of them. Look, Akron covered a point spread last week. They played a competitive game down to the final possession.
Yeah.
And they lost. So maybe there's some, we feel better about ourselves, but do I expect Akron to go on the road and max out effort-wise in their meaningless season finale? After again, they didn't win the game. We were like, hey, we got something to, they lost a heartbreaker. Do I trust them? Or no, they're not on the road. They're at home. It does not that it makes a whole lot of difference for the Zips. I don't want them this week. All that said, I can't think of the last time that I was laying 4 touchdowns on the road with a MAC favorite at the last season finale in a rivalry. No, it's not. Ohio U has an offense. They don't have a defense. So games like this are very easy for me, Drew. I spend about 30 seconds thinking about them, and then I'm like, all right, let's find something that I might be interested in betting. Pass for me. And hey, the same thing we talk about Buffalo, Bowling Green, but I'll wait till we get there.
All right, let's get to a little bit more competitively priced action game. The I guess you could say the nightcap, 4:00 Pacific kick here. We got Western Michigan at Northern Illinois. We're seeing WMU laying 7 flat on the road, 53.5 the lone total here at Circa.
And it's important to note, I'm not saying that there aren't bets to be made in big point spread ranges, but in general, in these point spread ranges, I don't want the dog, okay? And late in the season, I don't want dead dogs, flat out. And when you're laying 4 touchdowns, it's like the BYU game against UMass over the weekend, where BYU is up, 49-0 at halftime, and they don't cover, Yeah. Maybe look at first half for some of these games. But the point is this. When you're winning by margins, it's not like you're, max intensity the second half of this ball game. Doesn't happen. And you can't call that a bad beat when your 4-touchdown dog gives up a late TD and they only win by 4-touchdown favorite gives up a late touchdown, only wins by 3 touchdowns. Those aren't, the bad beats come when you do stuff like that. So Western, Northern Illinois, this is a fascinating game. Western's getting a ton of betting market respect here. I've cashed a ticket against Northern Illinois in their last outing against Eastern, and that was turnovers and mistakes, and from the Huskies are not getting great QB play. Their defense is spotty at best, and we've seen them now let go of the rope multiple times. I'm always worried about the team that lets go of the rope. And they let go of the rope again. And we saw it in the Eastern game where there was nothing in the second half. We saw it in the Central game where there was nothing in the half. And those are both November games. So Northern Illinois, a very young team, they flat out quit twice already this month. They're not backable. But they're coming off their worst game. Eastern hasn't played in weeks. And it's not like they've been going on the road and destroying teams this year. They won by 3 at Ohio. They lost at Toledo. They're no good. They lost at Syracuse. They're no good. They lost to Sparty by a huge margin. They're no good. I'm a fan of Wasenick. I'm a fan of the Broncos, but not in this point spread range. A little bit high for me. I think they're, and the 7.5s got bet up this morning. They're all gone. Are they all gone? Yeah, they're pretty much, they're gone. Wise guys gobbled up some, and they were out there. Wise guys gobbled up some plus 7.5 this morning, and I don't blame them.
Teddy, let's talk Thursday nighter. We got a Thanksgiving night matchup here. The Egg Bowl, a good one. Mississippi at Mississippi State. This one in Starkville, meaning the Bulldogs, Mississippi State is at home, laying 2.5 or laying 3, depending where you're shopping. Seeing a 59 as the total right now, Teddy. And granted, guys, we are talking on Monday with Teddy Covers at Teddy_Covers on Twitter. Teddy, any interest here on the Thursday nighter, the Egg Bowl, a big one in the state of Mississippi?
I do have some interest in this game. And in fact, I've already put an Ole Miss in my pocket at plus 3 because I wasn't sure the threes were going to last. And that was one that as soon as, I mean, I'm baffled at this line. Okay. I'm not baffled at it. That's a run. I can understand. Okay. This is why Mississippi State's laying 3 in a game where they're not the better team. Okay. They're at 5 wins. And Ole Miss is at 4.
Right.
So they're getting priced in the must-win for bowl eligibility type of deal. And of course, they're at home. So therefore, when the home field is factored in and the must-win is factored in, you're seeing a 2.5 or 3. But it's not like this has been a series where the home team dominates every year. It's a rivalry game. It's not like. The games in Starkville are in Oxford, so therefore you can't bet the other team. And again, there's no Mississippi State is garbage. All right, they've been garbage. Who they beat? They beat Arkansas. They beat Kentucky on a bad day. They're not beating good teams. I've not been impressed with Moorhead this year. Defensively, they're Ole Miss is better than they are. So, and like I said, yeah, I mean, I put it in my pocket already. If it holds the 3, I expect to give it to the clients. So there, if you watch this pod, you get a Turkey Day play for nothing. Again, but it's only if it holds the 3. I'm not going to release it 2.5 here. If the 3s are widely available, I'll post this for the clients tomorrow. I think that the 3 is a bargain with the Rebels. And again, I think Ole Miss is the better of these two teams, and they're resting and ready off a bye for whatever it's worth. 3's too many.
Yeah, Teddy, and we're seeing mostly 3s in Las Vegas. Now, some of the offshore is sitting at 2.5, so I get your drift there in terms of wanting to wait for it to be 3 possibly everywhere. So, yeah, if you're in Las Vegas, guys, seeing 3 at Cantor, at CG Technology. Teddy, we got the Friday card, and guys, this weekend, rivalry weekend, we do have the Tuesday night Maction, the Thursday night SEC Egg Bowl there, Mississippi State, Mississippi. And then the Friday card is huge. We got, upwards of 15 games on Friday and then a bunch of games on Saturday. So, there's people out there making the argument this is the best weekend in college football to bet. Teddy, not sure, before we get to the Friday card here, are you one of those kind of handicappers in terms of this is one of the better, if not the best? Or, with rivalry weekend, do you think it makes it tougher handicaps coming down the stretch of the college football season?
That's a hard question for me. I mean, there are a good handful of games. If we could say which week is good and which week is bad, every week I do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I mean, the exact same process week after week. And I very rarely deviate. I think there's some attractive matchups, but I thought last week was good to bet. The clients did too. We made some money this last Saturday. So I don't know which week is better. Whatever week is better. It's worth noting that I think there are more games this weekend than any other week in college football. The betting numbers go up to 434. But although there's 3 early NFL games too, so it's maybe not. There may have been a one week earlier in the year that had more games than this. But I think there are attractive matchups. I also think that Thanksgiving does bring some unique opportunities and some unique challenges because a lot of times people try to take shortcuts this week and you kind of go through the motions as opposed to doing your due diligence because you have other commitments. I don't like to do that.
All right, Teddy. And guys, yeah, we're going over the Friday, November 29th card right now. And granted, we are talking on Monday. So depending when you're listening to this, driving to wherever you're going on Thanksgiving, please drive safe and enjoy the time with your family and friends. First game up here, Teddy. Maction. We were talking about it, a little lead in. Bowling Green at Buffalo. We're seeing Buffalo minus 29, minus 29.5, 52 the total here, Teddy. I'll tell you, Teddy, it's Buffalo or pass. I don't like Bowling Green at all, especially going on the road. I think Buffalo's one of the toughest, if not the toughest team in the MAC. But I'll tell you, Teddy, MAC this year, I'm usually a big Maction fan. This year, I haven't seen it very well. It hasn't been very competitively priced games, which is where I normally do better. These 30-point spreads sometimes. I mean, it is the favorite or pass for me in this game, but I'm likely passing here.
Yeah, I've done pretty good in the MAC, and the Maction's been good for the clients and I overall. And part of it, with one exception, I lost a big bet betting against Buffalo with Central Michigan. Central had a terrible game that day, and I've made my money back betting on Central since then. They've been much better since that one poor showing, but that's what Buffalo's capable of doing. They're capable of forcing turnovers. They're capable of blowing up the line of scrimmage, and I'm with you 100%. Of the two, we talk about two MAC games with the 4 touchdown spreads. I'm much more interested in this one than it would be in the Ohio-Akron, because Buffalo plays defense. And when you have a team that plays defense, they get stops in the fourth quarter, and you end up covering the spread, as opposed to the team that doesn't play defense and doesn't get stops in the fourth quarter, and you end up giving up the backdoor TD. But the Bulls have been blowing up the line of scrimmage on the defense side of the football. And we saw Bowling Green let go of the rope again. Remember, they punched Ohio in the face last week, and Ohio punched them back. And after that, BG was dead. Give up 66. And again, they quit the week before at Miami O, 44-3. They quit their previous road game at Western, 49-10. They quit their previous road game at Notre Dame, 52-0. They quit their previous road game before that. Was that Kentucky? They lost 62-20, and then Kansas State on the road, 52-0. You can't back Bowling Green on the road, and they quit last week. Yeah, you can. I mean, again, if you want to lay more than 4 touchdowns, you can do it with Buffalo, and it'll get the Teddy cover seal of approval. That does not necessarily cash your ticket. and the Buffalo can easily win this game by 4 touchdowns and be very happy to do so and blow them out and not cover the number. So Buffalo or pass, but it's a pass. I won't get to the window here.
All right, Teddy, we got 2 games left here on the Section 1 of the College Football Every Game on the Board podcast. And guys, coupon code TC199 at checkout will give you his 30-day all-access package for only $199, more than $100 off the retail price at sportsmemo.com with the coupon code TC199 at checkout. Good until Saturday of this week. We'll keep that active, so check it out at sportsmemo.com. Teddy is hitting 57% in the NFL last 5 years running. He's up over 60% in the month of November, having great NFL and college football season. So he's seen it well on the gridiron, and check him out, sportsmemo.com, coupon code TC199 for 30-day all-access package. Teddy, next game up, a good one, Virginia Tech at Virginia. This one in Charlottesville. We're seeing the Hokies, the new age Hokies here. The last few games, they've been playing really well, Teddy, laying 2.5 in Charlottesville, seeing a total of 49 right now in the marketplace.
Well, it's not just the last few games. You can point exactly to where this season changed, all right? They had that blowout loss at home against Duke, remember? With the national TV team. And it was as bad as it gets. They were humiliated on national TV. And that was in September. And since that time, there was only one game they didn't cover. But after that, they went to Miami. And the one game they didn't cover was that against an FCS team, and they won by a couple of touchdowns. It wasn't even a game that mattered. But it was a Miami game where they forced all those first half turnovers and took the big lead and then held on for the win. And then, the North Carolina game, that was a gutty game against North Carolina. They won. And the last 2 weeks, what's the 75-0. And admittedly, Georgia Tech and Pitt, but Pitt's been pretty good.
Yeah, Pitt's not bad.
Virginia Tech's won the last 3 meetings between these two teams. And, of course, the winner here gets the right to lose to Clemson in the ACC title game. So it's a huge game for both squads. I can understand why Virginia Tech's been taking the money. They're not a team I have any interest in stepping in front of right now. Their season-long stats don't currently reflect their current form. And this team is playing ball on both sides of the football right now. And I don't sell Virginia short by any stretch of the imagination. The last time they faced a good defense was in October against Miami and Notre Dame in back-to-back weeks, and the offense didn't work in either one of those games. And since then, Louisville and North Carolina and Duke and Georgia Tech and Liberty, all these weak defenses. Virginia Tech does not have a weak defense. Hokies are past, but again, I've already missed a number. I don't expect to get to West Virginia here, but that's the only way I would look. And at less than a field goal, there's probably still a little bit of value on the Virginia Tech side. I do think this line does go to 3. So I said I missed a number. I haven't missed a number yet. You wait till tomorrow, you're going to miss the number. This line's going to 3.
Good stuff, Teddy. And if I'm not mistaken, as long as Clemson beats South Carolina in the ACC championship game, there is going to be a team from the ACC going to the Orange Bowl. It could be the winner of this game, right?
Well, Clemson is in already. Okay. The Orange Bowl. I'm talking about the playoff picture.
Right. But I'm talking about the Orange Bowl, meaning I believe the ACC gets a slot into the Orange Bowl, right? So it would be their.
This is what I know. Okay, there's going to be 4 teams make the playoff. Clemson wins out. I don't know what the Orange Bowl, Fiesta Bowl. I don't know what freaking bowls they are. I could probably look at it. They'll play for something here.
I was trying to bring motivation into it, but it really doesn't matter anyway.
Dude, they're playing for a title.
Yeah, exactly.
There's not one side more motivated than the other. They're playing for a chance to win the ACC. What is it, Atlantic or Coastal or whatever the frick it is. They're playing for a chance to lose to Clemson, which is meaningful for both of these squads.
All right, let's finish off with some action here, Teddy. Toledo at Central Michigan, talking CMU. The Chippewas, you've been having a good beat on them. 9.5 or 9, laying at 64.5 the total.
Yeah, there are issues with the Chips. There are issues with Toledo at the quarterback position. I don't know. We don't know who's going to start at QB for Toledo there. Guadagni's hurt and Peters is hurt, and that's their top 2 QBs, and they've used them both this season, and both guys are question marks here. I know this Central or pass. It's the Chippewas in the trenches are solid. Toledo, I haven't liked a whole lot of what I've seen out of Toledo over the course of the last month. I'm not convinced they're going to show in Mount Pleasant on Saturday. Central or pass. And again, the Rockets could be missing their top 2 QBs, and if they are, that offense isn't going to work.
All right, Teddy. Anything else you want to throw out before we shut this pod down?
I want to say thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Thanks for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with Drew and I. Important to note, again, Thanksgiving week. Happy Thanksgiving. And please, of all the weeks, it's so important this week. You have to be betting with your head, not over it. If you're seeing things clearly, have a great time. If you're struggling and not seeing things clearly, this is not a weekend to be upping your wager size and, let's bet more and let's double up on Saturday night and let's go nuts on Sunday. This is a week that people get in trouble, is all I'm going to say. Please don't be one of those people. Good luck.
Well said, Teddy. He's hitting 62% all sports in November. Last 5 years in the NFL, hitting 57%, having great season in both college football and the NFL. And you get his next 30 days all access package for less than $200 using the coupon code TC199 at checkout. Get you all day through Christmas at sportsmemo.com with Teddy covers, with analysis on all the picks. TC199 at checkout. Guys, thanks for tuning in. Best of luck with your bets. We'll be back with more college football every game on the board podcast.